Hi, and welcome to Let's Bake and Cook Stuff. Today I'm making a sausage and potato soup. Maybe you've seen this soup or tasted this soup at a certain family Italian restaurant. I am making a copycat of that, but I'm making my own version, and this one's going to be vegetarian. You can certainly use regular Italian sausage if you want, but I'm using the sausage crumbles. They're veggie, okay? They're good. They taste a lot like, they're just seasoned soy crumbles that taste like, that are made to taste like Italian sausage. You can use regular sausage if you're a meat eater. I'm marifying this up. I'm adding a few things that aren't in the one in the restaurant, but I always like to add more veggies to everything. You know that, right? This is one onion. It's a giant onion, so chopped up. Two medium carrots. They're sliced. I just cut them in little circles, thin. They're pretty thinly sliced. And my recipe calls for 1 bell pepper, but I don't have a bell pepper. I have the little tiny pepper, so I cut up 4 of those. I cut 2 orange and 2 red up. If you have a green bell pepper, cut that up. If you have whatever kind of bell pepper you have, go ahead and use that. And my recipe also calls for red pepper flakes, but instead of that, if you've been watching any of my videos, you know I have a bunch of the serrano chilies growing out in my garden, so I'm using some of those. I think I have 3 of them here chopped up. Use the red pepper, just a pinch of red pepper flakes, or use the serrano chilies if you have some of those, or if you have a jalapeno, or leave it out if you don't want any spice. Don't put it in there. I'm going to soften these up. It's going to take about 5 minutes, and then we'll be back. Okay, these are nicely softened. I just tasted one of the carrots. I'm putting in 4 cloves of garlic, minced. A little bit of salt. This is to taste. Actually, I tasted a carrot though, and it's interesting how all the vegetables in there flavor each other. I tasted the carrot, and it really tasted like all the vegetables in there. In the bell pepper. It was really good. A little bit of Italian seasoning. About a teaspoon. An Italian soup. We're putting in Italian sausage, so I thought that would be appropriate. Well, let's cook those herbs a little bit in there that went with the Italian seasoning. Italian seasoning, this one has marjoram and basil and sage. Let me see, it says on here. Marjoram, oregano, thyme, rosemary, savory, basil, and sage. A lot of them, they're very different. You use whatever Italian sausage you want, or you can use a mixture of that. I like to use just basil sometimes too. So these are nicely softened. Okay, and again, if you were using real Italian sausage with meat, you'd want to cook that with this, okay, or maybe even before, and then actually cook it in the oil of the sausage. That'd be good too. I wanted to show you, I already did the kale. I already took the kale off of the stem and I chopped it, but I wanted to show you how easy it is to take the kale. This is fresh kale, from the store. You buy a bunch, but we're using a whole bunch in this. And you just strip it off the stem like that. And the stems are pretty much inedible. You could probably use them to make soup. Boil them and make a broth, a vegetable broth if you wanted, but I wouldn't. I don't think you can eat them. I don't know if you could cook them long enough, if that would tenderize them, but I don't think so. And I like to have these in pretty much bite-sized pieces. Okay, let's see. That garlic and that Italian seasoning has brought out its magic. Now we're going to add the Italian sausage crumbles. 4 cups of vegetable broth. Okay, and this is 4 small potatoes. I had to put them in water, to keep them from browning. I'm going to drain them real quick. I cut these in slices. I think that's how they do it. I haven't had that in a long time because I've been a vegetarian for a long time, but I think they slice them in little slices like that. We're going to add our these were pretty small potatoes. Maybe let's say small medium. We're going to bring this up to a boil. Then we're going to let those potatoes cook, and then we're going to add the rest of our kale. And I'm going to go ahead and put the wine in here. I'm going to put about half a cup to a cup of white wine. This is Sauvignon Blanc, but whatever white wine you like to use to cook. And I'm not a snob about cooking with wine. I know a lot of them say you have to use a wine that you like to drink, but I'm not much of a wine drinker, so that doesn't really leave me very many to do that with. But I have bought super cheap wine and put it in my soup and put it in my sauces and stuff, and it tastes fine. If wine is like a main ingredient, you might reconsider that, just because you know, you are going to be condensing the flavor down, so you'll want to think about that when you're doing that. But other than that, whatever kind of wine is on sale, whatever kind of wine someone brought to your house as a gift, just use that. It's not a big deal. I always hear, I watch a million cooking shows, and they all say, oh, make sure it's something you would drink. Now, if you want to say it's something that you like to drink, because if you're only going to use a cup of it and you're going to have that left over, so you might want to use that to drink it, then feel free to do that. But otherwise, I don't see a reason to worry about getting some big fancy wine. And I wouldn't, for cooking, I wouldn't use like a $30 bottle of wine anyway. But that's just me. I got this. It's Walking Dead wine, and no, they are not affiliated, but I thought it was funny. My husband and I are both Walking Dead fans. I hope they come back sometime soon. And I bought that because I thought it was a red wine. It makes sense because zombies and blood and all that. And so I didn't read that it was Sauvignon Blanc. Blanc means white, right? So it's a white wine. I don't know how good it is. We'll see. I've never used it or tasted it or cooked with it or anything. It smells. Oh, it does smell good. I might try that. Yeah, I'm just not a big wine drinker. I'm not a big drinker. Period. For me, if I'm gonna have 500 calories, I'd rather have a piece of cake than a big fancy drink. Although once in a while, I like a Long Island iced tea. When we go on vacation, or if when we go on a cruise or whatever, I usually have a drink, a couple of drinks. If you don't use wine, if you're a person who abstains from alcohol, you could put maybe a juice of half of a lemon for the acid, or some lime, or even maybe a tablespoon or so of vinegar. Okay, and whatever vinegar. If you have tarragon vinegar, rice wine vinegar, red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar, whatever kind of vinegar you like. I don't know if I'd use white or apple cider vinegar. I haven't ever tried that, but I mean, you could try it. You're not going to put that much in it. It's not going to make that big of a difference. So, if that's all you have, go ahead and toss it in there. Have you tried any of the Italian sausage, the faux Italian sausage crumbles? I like them. They're a nice alternative to Italian sausage. We use the hamburger crumbles. I use those I make a bolognese. I use the Italian sausage and the beef crumbles in that. A friend of mine, Tawny, I actually tried a vegetarian burger patty at one restaurant, and it was gross, and I was like, oh, well, I guess you can't eat that. So I was just always eating vegetable things and beans and stuff. I wasn't even eating any of that fake meat stuff, but my friend Tawny showed me. They have the chicken, they have like the little fake chicken nuggets and all kinds of cool stuff that you can eat if you liked meat but you don't want to eat it anymore. My daughter-in-law, her brother, he's a vegetarian. He doesn't like meat, so he wouldn't want any of things that taste like meat. So if you're that kind of vegetarian, then you wouldn't want that. Okay, I'm going to put the top on here. We're going to let this boil for about 10 minutes until those potatoes are nice and soft, and then we're going to come back and we're going to finish it with the kale and the milk, and then we're going to have delicious Copycat Italian sausage potato soup, vegetarian style. Our soup is boiling away. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that is going to be so good, you guys. just wanted you to see how it looks. We're trying to get to do that for about 10 minutes to cook those potatoes, okay? And then we'll be back and we're going to finish the soup. You see it's boiling pretty good. I'm going to test one of these potatoes. You want to check one of your thickest potatoes, okay? That one's pretty thick. Drop it on the counter and eat it. See? Oh, that one's good. Okay. This is one bunch of kale cut up into, you know, I'm going to call them bite-sized pieces. You know, they shrink way down anyway, so. I'm going to stir this in and we're going to put the top on. These take literally like 2 minutes to cook down. All greens are like that. Spinach, you can have a big old bag of spinach and it cooks down to like a couple of little bites. Lid on that. Give that just a couple of minutes. Okay, now I'm going to add, what I have here is 1.5 cups of milk and 1/2 cup of heavy cream. But if you want to keep this vegan, go ahead and use like a coconut milk or a cashew milk, almond milk. Now really all that's left is to let that milk get warm in there and taste it for seasoning. That's really good. Needs a little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. And we're good. Bring this back up to boiling. Once this is at a boil, we'll be ready to eat it. Well, I'll be ready to eat it. You'll be ready to watch me. If you're still watching, thank you. About the only thing I did different, I think, from the other soup that you get in the restaurant is I put the carrots in there. I like to add more vegetables to things. If you want it more authentic towards like the soup from the restaurant, then leave the carrots out. They don't have carrots in theirs. I hate the phrase "you eat with your eyes first." Like, I don't know about you, but I don't eat with my eyes. I think that's the weirdest phrase. You see something that you want to eat with your eyes, right? But you do. It's pretty. If you didn't want to use kale too, if you wanted to use some other kind of green, if you wanted to use like spinach or mustard greens, whatever kind of greens you like, they had this at the store today. So, and our soup is boiling, and so that means it's ready to try it. So good. And you can put whatever fixings you want on top. If you want to put some cut green onions on there, how about some croutons, or I don't think they put anything there. I'm sure they'll offer you some of that grated Parmesan cheese though. But I think it's good just like this. Well, I'm just going to say I shouldn't even be calling it a copycat from that restaurant because it's like 1,000,000 times better than that restaurant soup. It's delicious. You can really taste that Italian sausage. It tastes like Italian sausage. I will tell you, if you overcook it, it gets a little rubbery. So if you find that happens, you might want to put that in like more towards the end. But right now it's not rubbery yet. So, but look at that. Delicious and good for you, especially if you use the plant-based milk. Then you've gone completely vegan. Oh, that's good. Try this. Let me know how you like it. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.